to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome back to Vin Village Radio with your host, Rob Barnett of VinVillage.com.
This is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com. This show is brought to you in part by Drip Teas. You know those red drips that ruin your wine label when you pour your wine? Or you've probably dripped on your table, counters, and furniture too? Would you love a simple solution that stops wine drips and looks great? Well, Drip Teas flawlessly stops all wine bottle drips. And there are styles for everyone. And better yet, when you spend $25, you get a 25% discount and free shipping by using the VinVillage promo code VV25. Just go to driptease.com. That's DRIPTEEZ.com. Pour wine every time and never drip again. For segment 2 today, we're continuing our discussion with renowned author and author Rex Pickett. Sideways 3 Chile is the third and final novel in the trilogy that began with Sideways, which became the award-winning movie. In 2010, Rex Pickett released the sequel to Sideways entitled Vertical, which won the 2011 Gold Medal for Fiction from the Independent Publishers Book Awards. In the fall of 2012, the government of Chile, in conjunction with the organization Wines of Chile, invited Rex to travel their country, focusing on emerging wine regions and researching the writing of a third and final book in the Sideways series, Sideways 3 Chile. Rex, welcome back.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, so let's get into the new one. I'm really excited. In fact, Ray sent me a copy, but I didn't see it in the mail yet, so I'm not sure if it's hit the office or not. But I'm looking forward to reading it. So now, so tell us, besides being in Chile with all their great wines, what was the inspiration behind the storyline of the third book?
Well, once again, like I did with Vertical, I took myself 3 years later to, I write from a very personal place. And I think one of the reasons that Sideways is still, something that, people really remember. I mean, everywhere I go, people still remember it. I think because there's a kind of a honesty to the book, and there's an honesty to the characters, and I keep it that way. And I'm not writing formula fiction. And so I sort of took myself circa today or circa 2 years ago and took myself down to Chile and just said, I'm going to be a sponge once again, and I'm going to let it come to me. And, as a celebrity author, supposedly, and explore the place and see what I can find and write from that kind of personal place. And it's more of a romance. The first one was really Miles and Jack romance. The second one was really Miles and his mother, oddly enough. Vertical is about, Miles getting invited to be the master of ceremonies at the International Pinot Noir celebration in Willamette Valley, Oregon. And so he hatches this kind of trip in a ramp van with his mother and everything else. And Chile was, 3 years later, kind of where I've come, and it's more of a romance with Miles and Maya. I come full circle to that romance, actually. Yeah,
and so what was it like being down in Chile, where Pinot's not quite as prevalent as it is in California or in Oregon? How did that all kind of come together?
Actually, you're actually right about that. But one of the largest producer of Pinot Noir in the world is in Chile. It's Connoisseur Wineries. But you're right. It's largely as you go inland. There's 12 different, very distinct topographical and geographical wine regions in Chile. And inland, it is Bordeaux-based, and Chile is, in my opinion, a little unfortunately pushing Carmenere the same way Argentina is pushing Malbec as kind of a national grape. But really, the great grape there is Sauvignon Blanc, and I highlight and showcase that in Sideways 3 Chile, which especially in the Casablanca Valley. I think that is one of the great wine regions in the world. I think the Sauvignon Blancs coming out of there, Vina Casa Marine, which, Wine Spectator a couple of months ago or 6 months ago did a cover story on Chile, and they highlighted, I was so proud of this, they highlighted a lot of the wineries and the people that I met that I wanted to highlight because I didn't want it to be about influence peddling. I didn't want it to be, because I visited this winery or whatever. I really wanted to discover it for myself. And I think Sauvignon Blancs coming out of there are spectacular, especially out of the Casablanca Valley.
No, I agree 100%, and I've had many of them from there. And I actually prefer them over, the big renowned Sauvignon Blanc area is New Zealand.
Well, right. I'm glad you said that, Rob. I don't want to sit here and trash anybody, but New Zealand, I think, had a lot of success, with some early Sauvignon Blancs. So what they did was they commoditized the taste. They want that taste profile to be the same. To give you an example, I just got back from Italy, and I was doing an original screenplay in Tuscany, in Chianti Classico, and it's a very complicated region, and the principal grape there is Sangiovese, and they really want the vintage to be the pure expression, or the grape to be a pure expression of the vintage, whereas a lot of wineries in the world, as you well know, they want that wine to taste the same every time you open it, every year, and in Chile, I think New Zealand had a lot of success, and they didn't want those wines to taste differently. And Chile, I think, is the same way. A lot of the winemakers there really want the vintage to be the pure expression of the grape. And I find there to be more integrity there, than trying to manipulate the grape into a certain profile, to suit your palate for commercial reasons. Because at the end of the day, remember, wine is also about making money. It's about product. It's about moving product. Versus it's very similar to art. How commercial do you want to, artistic do you want to be, and everything in between.
Yeah, and the Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand, the thing that, it's my palate, this is just my personal opinion, I'm not as crazy about them because they tend to have that grassy profile.
Yeah, they do. And in Chile, they have this wonderful alluvial soil, and they have this Andean snowmelt from the Andes, and it's a really mineral rich. I had some Sauvignon Blancs in Chile, Rob, they looked like water in the glass. Literally, they were so pure and so clean, and then you would taste them, and they would be so mineral rich and distinct and unique, unlike any, that kind of grassy. But, New Zealand had success with that grassy profile, so they kept replicating it. Whereas in Chile, they let the soil, the same way in Tuscany, too, in Italy, they let the year and the soil and everything be, the pure expression of that grape. And I just have more respect for it, and I just find the wines more interesting.
Yeah,
they're more interesting.
I agree. The ones that I have had, I preferred over the wines that I've had from New Zealand. So, I was just thinking about the storyline. Okay, in the Sauvignon Blancs, what did Miles think about the Sauvignon Blancs?
Well, he absolutely fell in love with them. I mean, you have to realize, and I'm sure the Pinot people won't be happy that I'm saying this, but when I wrote Sideways, I had no idea that I was going to, raise one grape, Pinot Noir, from 1% of the red wine market to 8% of the red wine market. You go to any restaurant and you look at a wine list, and Pinot Noir is like listed under red. I mean, it became famous, and I feel badly in some ways that Merlot took such a hit. But when I wrote the novel, I had no idea that was going to be the case. I didn't know it was even going to be a movie, Rob, and it would have that kind of effect. So I wanted Miles to, really fall in love with a grape, and he did. Genuinely, Miles Rex. It was written in first person, so Miles is really me. But I hyperbolize, I exaggerate, like all authors, and I don't want to sit here and say that certain Pinot Noirs from the San Ynez Valley maybe don't live up to their price, but I will go on record as saying that they don't live up to their price. And I love a lot of varieties. It's not like it's Pinot Noir only, and I hate Merlot. That's just not really true. And I went to Chile with an open mind, and to me, the Sauvignon Blancs are masterpieces down there. There are signs in the Colchagua Valley, and I had some incredible Syrahs in Elqui Valley, which is almost like Palm Desert, if you can believe it, but with these underground aquifers. And, it's a fascinating area, but I would say that Sauvignon Blanc is a standout, and I fell in love with it. The same way I fell in love with Pinot Noir, the same way I fell in love with Sangiovese in Chianti Classico.
Well, a funny thing of note that with the original Sideways and the, no effing Merlot, that same year, in Wine Spectator, the number one wine in the world was the Paloma Spring Mountain Merlot.
Really?
Yeah, so most people don't realize that. So you had this thing with the Cheval Blanc and the Cab Franc Merlot blend, and then you had that Merlot was the number one wine in the world, and it was like
Merlot exploded in the 90s after the 60 Minutes did that French paradox, drink red wine and you'll live longer or whatever. And so red wine was a fruity, approachable red wine for people to drink, and so they started overcropping it. That's really the truth. But actually, sort of unwittingly with the movie and one line, maybe they needed the correction because the real great Merlot makers, like the one you mentioned, like Duckhorn, Schaefer, others, Petrus, of course, whatever, they don't need any correction. But it weeded out the $5 Merlot, the people who that had overcropped it and were just selling it in a mass way. And there are wine critics who say that the film actually did them a favor.
Yeah, so we're down to a minute, a little less than a minute now, and is there any chance that Vertical or Sideways 3 Chile could end up as plays?
Well, Sideways, of course, is a play, as you well know.
Yeah.
Broke records at the La Jolla Playhouse for attendance. I mean, with Des McAnuff, directing, and now it goes on. I'm very excited. You know what? I'm considering adapting Vertical. I adapted my novel Sideways for the play, so it's an adaptation of my novel. And people, they still see Sideways, but they get to see a lot of stuff. Vertical, Sideways 3 Chile could be plays. And I'm very excited, who published Chile, first edition design. I'm going to have them also publish the play, Sideways. So we'll see. I love theater, Rob. It's you were there at the Little Russian Group Theater
it was
where
fantastic.
we first did it, and it was one of the most rewarding times of my life.
Well, we're out of time, Rex. Really great having you on. It was really, really fun.
Thank you so much. I'll see you at the LA Wine Fest.
At the LA Wine Fest for sure, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, listeners, we'll have links up on VinVillage.com. You're listening to Vin Village Radio on the WS Radio Network, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Would you like sparkling wines that are reminiscent of great champagne? Or full-bodied reds that drink like some of the finest Bordeaux's? Trump Winery, nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, prides itself in making the highest quality, terroir-driven wines from their estate-grown fruit. Located near Thomas Jefferson's Monticello, the birthplace of American viticulture. To learn more, go to TrumpWinery.com. That's TrumpWinery.com. It's time to try some Virginia wine.
Are you ready for the largest consumer wine event in Los Angeles? Then get your tickets now for the 10th annual LA Wine Fest on Saturday and Sunday, May 30th and 31st at the historic Raleigh Studios in Hollywood. Experience from over 500 amazing wines, spirits, and brews, lifestyle exhibitors, educational wine classes, gourmet food trucks, live music, and much, much more. For more information and special ticket pricing, go to VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.
Attention Facebook shoppers, get ready for social commerce. Fan Page Toolkit is the total social commerce and marketing solution for small business. It empowers Facebook users to promote, market, and even sell products and services completely within the Facebook ecosystem. If you need to extend your business or personal brand, then you need Fan Page Toolkit. To learn more and for special offers, go to VinVillage.com. That's VinVillage.com. It's time to get ready for social commerce.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Come celebrate the 10th anniversary of LA Wine Fest at historic Raleigh Studios in Hollywood. On Saturday and Sunday, May 30th and 31st, explore hundreds of amazing wines in a relaxed setting. Artisan boutiques, main stage performances, and hip food trucks add to the fun. And this year, you will determine the winning wines of the first ever LA Wine Fest Popular Choice Awards, powered by Quinny. Quinny is the revolutionary free wine app for your smartphone or tablet that lets you rate, share, and remember everything about the wines you taste. Whether you're a wine newbie or expert, Quinny enhances your tasting experience. Rate 5 wines on Quinny at LA Wine Fest and earn a free gift. Rate 10 wines and you could also win a $100 gift card. So download Quinny now from the App Store or at QuinnyWine.com. That's Quinny, Quini. For more information, go to VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers can